Welcome everyone, I'm FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to another pre-match show for our upcoming game in under an hour against Man City in the Premier League. Now, it's going to be a lot to talk about. Of course, I'm joined by a very special guest in Mata Samani, but before I even give my guy a full proper introduction, I've got some quick things to plug out the way, you guys. Now, for the affiliates right now, of course, you guys all know that I have my own personal discount code. It's Nini10. So if you guys are planning to buy anything for this Black Friday, if you're planning to buy anything for Christmas as well, and you're doing your preparation already, then why not get a discount code? And right now, with the club, as you guys can see here, they do have a special offer going. Now, for all items worth more than £40, that is free shipping across the world. And if you want to buy any leisure wear, that's, for example, things like the, T-shirts, and all this good stuff here, bottoms, all that type of stuff. Well, there is a 20% discount code off that stuff. So, right now, in preparation for Black Friday, there's going to be tons of crazy sales. I can imagine that you'll be getting your shirts and everything real quick. So, you guys, if you want to get anything, you'll find all these links in the description below. And, of course, today's video is brought to you by the One Football app. It's the best time to download it right now. If you haven't got it yet, why not give it a go? Every time there's a game on, it's a companion app. If you want to get stats, news, info, all that good stuff, you can get that with the One Football app. And you guys, on that note, enough of the plugs. Let's move straight into things. Mattis, what you say, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. It's good to be here again. Obviously, me and you went on a away trip last time during the week to go on the podcast.
yeah.
But we're back.
It's been funny. It's been good. But, bro, of course, man, we've seen the lineup. And for you guys that are dying to see the lineup right here, it's a very interesting one. As we can see, Kepa and goal, defense, Azpilicueta, Zuma, Tomori, and Emerson. Now, looks like Lampard has gone for that experience of Azpilicueta. Maybe he feels like Reece isn't ready against Sterling just yet. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. In midfield, I think we all expected to see Jorginho, Kante, and Cover in that three-man midfield. But up front, it's very interesting as well. Willian, Tammy Abraham, and Christian Pulisic. Now, there's one thing that I want to clear out the way. Whenever I do my tactics previews and stuff, I'm not thinking of what I'd like to see. I'm always thinking of what do I think Lampard's going to do in the game. And of course, if I'm seeing Mason Mount playing against Man City, where we have to be, on point defensively and offensively, I'm thinking of strategies. I'm thinking of Lampard seeing the game in the full 90 minutes. We want to win this game. So if it means that, let's say, like a Pulisic was going to come on for 30 minutes, so be it. It had nothing to do with form. He's been incredible recently, but it seems like he's really been impressive. If Lampard is really trusting Pulisic to start in this game today, so of course, let's hope that Pulisic puts in a Pulisic performance. Real, that was terrible. That was terrible. But Mattis, man, I know that you got some thoughts and opinions after seeing this lineup. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, listen. When I made my own team, I was like, the two people I doubted that Lampard might not play would be Kovacic and James. Yeah. That's the two people I wanted to see. Obviously, Kovacic is in, so that's great news because I think building up from the back against Man City, the thing is, I don't want us to get penned in. I still want us to play our normal game. And it looks like he's going to try and do that and build from the back. So having Kovacic in there is crucial because he's probably the most press-resistant player in the world. And then what I'm thinking with Azpilicueta is, and apart from the fact that I'd like to see James because I think their wingers are very pacey, they're very quick, and I think Sterling could give us problems. If he's playing a low block, then I can understand why he's gone with Azpilicueta just for the experience, and he obviously knows what it's like to play in a massive game. So I'm not too annoyed because I feel like if he's going counter-attack, then maybe this suits Azpilicueta. My worry will be if we're playing a high line. Which I highly doubt we're playing a high line. But
yeah, of course.
If we are, that's where.
I expect us to use like a mid block. I think a game that was a good reference point was those two games against Liverpool. Now I thought as a team performance we were very good. We weren't able to turn the good performances into the getting those wins or getting the 3 points. But I felt optimistic about the future, knowing that as this team improves and gets better, eventually that win's going to come. So it looks like it's going to be, like the same setup that we've seen in those previous games. So that's quite interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how Azpilicueta performs. I can imagine that, City are going to have plans down that side. And I've always thought that Azpi, playing up from the back, and I know that people don't consider the build-up play enough. You know, a lot of times if I see comments on my videos, people will be like, "Why are you disrespecting Aspie? You know, why are you just dismissing his defensive game?" But as I'm saying, you know, with how we're playing in the team now, every aspect of his game has to be on point. You know, the build-up phase, the attacking phase, and you know, so far he's only shown that he's great defensively. So as you're saying, this could imply that we are going to be seeing, you know, an intelligent counter-attacking performance. You know, to be honest, playing against Man City is probably the best time to play against them right now. And yeah, man, I'm just curious. Do you think that this lineup you're seeing is going to be a lineup that's going to really help us get that win today?
Yeah, I mean, the key for me was with the midfield. I really was hoping that he wouldn't play Mount today because Mount signifies a pressing game, and that's the last thing I want to see, overly press and go wild with that, because I feel like if we did press and we didn't get it absolutely spot on, then we would be exposed with that gap between the midfield and the defence as it was in pre-season the whole time. I feel like whenever we press really high up against a decent team, that's where we're exposed, and it was kind of seen against Ajax as well at home, and we conceded a truckload of goals there. So I think Mount not being in the team just got to show as well that, you know, Lampard will adjust his tactics, because it's clear that he's doing something different. I think that midfield three, a lot of people are asking where the goals are going to come from. If you look at, you know, any counter-attacking performance where we've done well against Man City, the goals have come from the front three. Those are the guys that are going to be, you know, used to really, you know, get our goals. It's not really going to come from midfield, because the midfield's job is to watch the likes of Kevin De Bruyne in the half spaces. You know, David Silva, I'm not sure who's starting for Manchester City, but I assume they're gonna go with, you know, the two. They usually go with two players in the half spaces. That seems to be their new way of playing. So we have to manage that, and I just feel like Mount's inexperience in that situation could be undone. So I'm really happy with the midfield three. And you know, it's great to see Pulisic, because there was rumours in the midweek that he was injury doubts as well. Like, didn't know what the situation was there. So he's on great form at the moment. I think he's good for a goal. Willian as well. I know people give Willian a hard time, but these are the type of games Willian shines, and he's on great form as well. So I'm excited, man. It's a good lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, of course. I still think those same principles apply of Lampard thinking of the game in the full 90 minutes. You know, of course, expect to see Mount coming on at some point as well. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Pulisic's going to perform. Of course, his form has really been on point recently, and you know, maybe Lampard's really feeling like that left-hand side is an area that we really need to target. You know, seeing Pulisic and Emerson linking up together, we haven't seen that too often this season, and I've always felt that whoever's playing as a winger down the left-hand side, you know, when they've been playing with Alonso, it's made their lives a lot harder, you know, because Alonso's not making a space for him. Alonso's not doing the most. Let's be serious. But as you guys can see on screen, this is the Man City lineup. Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Fernandinho, and Mendy in defence. In midfield, Rodrigo, David Silva, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling, and Aguero. So, you know, Man City playing their normal system, you know, attacking 2-3-5. Hey, I think with Kante, Cover, and Jorginho probably the most hard work, I'd say the most complete in the Prem so far. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. You know, these guys can all win their tackles, defend very well, play a pass, and you know what I mean? So I think it'll be a very good test up against De Bruyne, Silva, David Silva I don't think is exactly the same anymore. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, you know. But again, man, I want to get your thoughts and opinions. Sterling versus Azpilicueta. What's going on in your minds?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you with the whole build-up phase with Azpilicueta. That is one worry. And, you know, the thing is now is they obviously Bernardo Silva is suspended, so their pressing might be down a little bit because he is instrumental for that. I don't feel like Mahrez is as good as that. David Silva is obviously aging, so I feel like we have the potential to build up. Yeah. And with Azpilicueta, it could end up going lopsided over to Emerson, and I don't want us to be too predictable in our build-up, so that does worry me. But in terms of Sterling, he's someone who's going to drift into the half spaces a lot, and that's why if you are playing Azpilicueta, Kante is crucial on that side, and Willian as well, because they're going to get back, they're going to help him, and if we're going to double up, then I feel like, you know, we could be okay. It's if he's isolated, say if Kante wasn't available, that's when I'd have a huge worry, because then you're asking Jorginho to come out wide and deal with some of those situations, and that's where it starts to get a bit sticky for me. So I am worried, because for me, Azpilicueta, he doesn't have that burst of pace. You know what I mean? Like for me, he's a lot more rigid of a defender now. His positioning is good, but if you expose him, as I said in the high line, we're gonna have issues. But
Yeah.
what do you make of the other side? Because obviously a lot of people are saying that Mahrez is, a danger as well. He's not obviously been regular since he joined from Man City. What do you think? Because obviously Emerson's, he hasn't been exactly fully fit.
I mean, he hasn't been beaten. So I feel confident. Now I'm looking at Emerson these days, and I just get this ridiculous sense of confidence from the player. I don't feel like most players are going to get past him. I think that with defensive support from Cover on the left-hand side, Cover's been very good at helping defend with the fullbacks as well. Mahrez is a great player, of course. We can't, he'll get no disrespect here. But I don't know. I think that against Man City, of course, they're a great team. But if you play well and you are on point, if your mentality is just on point throughout the entire game, they are a team that you can beat. So I do feel optimistic. I think Kante on the right hand side going to be helping out Aspie, and Cover doing the same thing with Emerson. On the counter attack, this is where things are going to get interesting. Obviously Pulisic, Tammy, and Willian. Maybe William's probably the low key performer of the day. Like we never really speak about Willian and what he can bring, but for this team right now, he's been very important, and it's been no surprise why our form really turned around a lot more when Willian started getting into the first team. How our attacking players perform is going to be on point because on point. I said that wrong. It needs to be on point. I think my only thing, man, with this team right now is that I don't think that we're clinical enough. I think that we need to create multiple opportunities, but we tend to miss the ones we should be scoring. And sometimes we score the hard ones, which is like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking of some of the goals Tammy scored, the Tomori long shot, some of these like bangers this season. But I don't know. I can't say that I feel super confident we're winning this, but I can't say confidently we're losing this. I think it's one of them ones where anything can happen on the day. Let's hope there's no individual mistakes that happen. That's what I'm praying for.
I feel like this is a free hit as well. Like I don't feel any pressure going into this game. I feel like we're obviously performing above expectations. Of course, there's a little bit of a manager merry-go-round going around in our rivals for top four, but I feel like we're in a good position in the league. Not saying that this is like a free-for-all, and I don't want to go out there and get a win, but I don't feel like that pressure. I don't feel like there's going to be a meltdown if we lose. So it's nice going into a game like that where we can just, like I said, this is kind of a free season. I know we're doing great, but that hasn't changed the overall, objectives for me, which is just to make sure that we grow as a team here, because this a lot of these kids on the pitch, like a lot of these players on the pitch, like Abraham, like this is his first trip really to Chelsea, so it's going to be a big test for him as well, because he's like he's scored so many goals this season, but you still have people that will be like, you need that goal against the big six, you need that, you know what I mean, you need that Diego Costa moment. He's gonna have to be really clinical today. Willian as well. I really feel like Willian is a low-key performer today, because if you think about the amount of space he's gonna get on the counter, he's so good with that first yard of like that first burst of pace when he gets the ball, and I feel like that could be a game changer. And if he can make the right decisions with passing or his shooting, then I feel like he's gonna have a lot of opportunities today, because they're not the best defensively, as we've seen. They let in a lot of goals against Liverpool. They've been letting in quite a few goals this season. So I think we have a chance there, especially on the counter. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. You know what? Let's put that Man City team back there again. I'm looking at a player that I feel that needs to be that we need to target a lot is Fernandinho. Now I'm hoping that Tammy. Listen, Tammy, for his age, he only just turned 22. He's not that guy that's going to win every single one of his physical battles, but at the same time, he doesn't lose every single one. He's very 50-50 at the moment, and that makes me feel optimistic about his development in the future. But against Man City with Fernandinho, a seasoned guy who who understands what to do. He can do the dark arts as well. I don't think it'll be as easy for Tammy Abraham against him, but I'm really hoping that Tammy is going to be like a young Didier in motion today. I want to see that young Didier Drogba spirit coming out today. I want to see that anger, the intensity, pressed on the front foot, etc., etc. Maybe Stones could be the guy that's be more susceptible to losing the ball than Fernandinho. At times Stones can hold onto the ball a bit too long than he has to. So I guess he's a guy that we'd have to target. But let's focus on the key players for Man City. The key players, and I was thinking, looking at De Bruyne, who's come back this season, different mentality, and of course, now that he's had a full preseason behind him, It looks like there's a possibility that he's going to beat the assist record this season with how free scoring Man City have been so far. For me, I think De Bruyne is a player that we need to pay a lot of attention to. But, for you, who's a player for Man City that makes you worry a bit, or a player or players you feel need a lot of attention for the game today?
100% Sterling for me, because I feel like whenever I've watched Man City, he's always the one who goes unnoticed, and it's ridiculous because his stats should show otherwise, but he's always making those third man runs into the box. Typically, similar to how maybe Mason Mount, we're trying to get him to do so as well for our team. He always goes unnoticed. He makes those, like the play when the play isn't going through Sterling, he is literally he is so out of it, because he's so ready to make that ghosty run that nobody's paying attention to him. The amount of times I've seen him, go past a midfield runner or go past a fullback runner, and he's just lightly making his way in, and then there's the tap in, and it happens time and time again. They make all of their plays focus towards the other side so that Sterling can get the tap in the box. And I feel even though maybe the matchup with Sterling and Azpilicueta is the more worrying, I wouldn't even be surprised to see Man City play towards Mahrez more often, just to create those opportunities, and then Azpilicueta has really got to be awake, because when those balls come into the box, Sterling could be in.
Sorry, man. Let me just quickly interrupt. I do have a super chat. Thank you, Antonio Concalves, bro. Cover to get a goal today. You know why you're saying it? Have you seen that tweet of the guy that posted his goal for Inter Milan? That volley.
Yeah,
amazing goal. It feels like a completely different player I was looking at. It's so funny. Players like him that can really pass well. Why is it that they can't shoot the ball? Is it not like passing the ball
weird,
harder?
isn't it?
You know what I mean?
The thing is that his shooting is not even okay. It's actually terrible. His shooting for us has been shocking.
Exactly.
Every time he gets to be...
Real talk, and we've seen some terrible shooters of the ball. I've seen Makelele, I've seen Mikel, and now Cover. I feel like Cover's the worst one out of all of them. He's the worst finisher, the worst shooter I've seen. It's so funny how it's he turns into a semi-pro player when he's near the books. It's very funny, but you can't imagine if he could score goals. Maybe you know what I mean.
He'd be complete. He would be a complete midfielder. And that's the thing. That's why I can't really wait for Loftus-Cheek to get back, because I feel like Loftus-Cheek is like the hybrid between Kovacic and Mount. He can do the press resistant stuff, the build up, and that, but then he can also get the goals as well. So when he comes back, we're going to be amazing.
Exactly.
But for this game, another thing we haven't spoken about is the set pieces. If you look at Man City's team, very small team. They've got 4 attacking midfielders on. Then none of them are set piece threats. David Silva, Sterling, Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero obviously up front. Fernandinho is very small. So I feel like we, on an attacking sense, and this is the only reason why I'm a little bit disappointed Reece hasn't started, because he can take corners, he can take free kicks, and he's got great crossing. If we can take advantage of the set pieces, Willian's set pieces have got to be amazing today, because Tomori, Zuma, Abraham, they can all get headers today. It's really crucial that we do, because it's a massive opportunity to be a threat on that sense as well.
Yeah, 100%. But you were speaking about a point earlier about how you can imagine that with how Man City use Raheem Sterling, how they like to isolate him with his opponent down the left hand side. That game against Ajax, obviously the 4-4 game, we saw that non-stop. Ajax isolating Promise against Aspi. I mean, we saw it in the first game. Didn't really come to full effect, but in the second game, we really saw it. And this is where I get a little bit nervous, a tiny bit with Aspi, because let's say if the game's a bit open in moments like that, he's shown that he's been allowing runners in behind at times, and it's but here's the thing, the thing with Aspi is that end of the day, he's a big game player. I remember his game against Man City last season under Sarri, completely kept Sane under wraps the entire game. That was peak prime Azpilicueta that we've known for time, So it's just I believe that he has a performance like that in him. Hopefully he's not going to be forced to have to do too much offensively on the ball. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Since Reece has been playing, I feel like Williams looks a bit better too, and the play down the right hand side has been a lot quicker and sharper. Have you got that impression too?
Yeah, because the thing is with Reece is that, and this is the thing, is he has shown no weakness. With Azpilicueta, we're talking about 50-50s here. We're talking about, will he get exposed by maybe Mahrez's cutting on the left foot, switching the play over to Sterling quickly, like Zurich was doing for Promise, as you were saying. attacking wise, he's not going to be able to really contribute with Willian. We all know Azpilicueta can't take players on one-on-one, so that kind of puts more pressure on Willian, and Willian can potentially be doubled up because of that, because they know Azpilicueta is not gonna burst past a man. Whereas Reece James, he really opens up the pitch. And the thing is with Reece James is that he's got so many tools in his arsenal. Like, he can come inside, play in that central midfield role, and give us more numbers. You're talking about here Kevin De Bruyne maybe on the left side of the midfield, creating opportunities in half spaces. There's no better man to tuck inside than Reece James and double up. And obviously getting forward as well, he can help Willian. He can overlap Willian. He can give Willian more space. Even if you don't use Reece James as your outlet, he gives you more space because he gives people something to think about when he's going forward. You're not going to ignore him. So, that's the one thing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised as well in this game if we do, say if we take the lead, I wouldn't be surprised if we switch to a back three, bring Reece James on at right wing back and completely change our shape. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'd actually be in favour of it because, as we were saying during the international break, I think a few people was reporting it, Kante's only just back. So, I don't know if he's ready for the full 90. This is probably the first time we're seeing Kante again back from his injury. Yeah. So, it's a sticky one.
It's a sticky one.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know. That's the thing. That's the thing that Kante, maybe like to his own detriment. Times he's come back and he hasn't been fully fit. You can't even really notice it, can you? You can't really notice it. Like a tiny bit, you can. But not too much, and it's just like maybe this is why managers keep pushing him on and overstressing him, because it's just like he can handle it. But no, you are right. I think with Reece too, just the crossing. That I think against Man City, I can imagine us now looking at this team. We're gonna focus most of our attacks down that left hand side. We've done that quite a lot throughout the season already. The right hand side's been more of like a supportive role, but this is where Willian's kind of struggled in like bigger games in that sense, because he really needs his Aspie beside him to help him get in the game and have someone to link up. But then it's like if Aspie's sitting deeper, is that helping? But maybe this is where the midfield three and Kante is going to be a big help. I can imagine maybe guys like Cover and Kante splitting so they can they'll push forward to like out wides on the left or the right, and then that way fullbacks can come in, and that way it can free up a Pulisic or Willian to do what they have to do. But yeah, man, it's just like this game, as we're getting closer to it, I'm getting really excited now. And this is what I love about this season, man.
Yes,
I'm excited for every single game. And the mad thing is too, I'm going Amsterdam for my birthday, so I'm flying out on the 30th, and it's like I made sure that I got everything patterned perfectly. I made sure that the flights are booked for the earliest one, so I can get to Amsterdam, I can watch the game, and obviously get the video ready, because being in another country ain't going to stop me, you know what I mean? But
You're ridiculous. Your hustle is ridiculous. And also, what was we talking? The thing is with Mount as well, we didn't speak about this with Mount, but have you noticed every time Kante's available, you're kind of more likely to not see Mount, because I feel like Lampard trusts Kante to do that pressing role as well. That Mount does. Kind of, step forward a bit and press in that number 10. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That last season under Sarri, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kante ahead of Kovacic and Jorginho in a lot of phases in the game. Just pressing, not the same way Mount does, but just lightly doing it, just to cover the bases, so to speak, and try and make sure they're not penned in. So, man, I'm looking forward to this. And then obviously we have Valencia midweek. It's a great time to be a fan at the moment.
Yes, I know. Winter is here. Winter is here. It's going to be hectic, game after game after game. The thing that will make this month better will be if Ruben returns fully fit before Christmas. Just, come on. If there's one thing I want for Christmas, that sounds so moist. But anyway, hopefully Ruben's going to come back, and because I think he'll bring that X factor to the team. Not that we're lacking X factor, but with Ruben, it's serious class that he's bringing to this team. I remember this. Remember the final against City in the Community Shield last season. That piece of play at the end. Remember that little flick he did, where it's like the ball was coming.
Oh, you mean
that little dummy? Yeah. And that pass to Hazard, it was onside for me. Imagine if that was scored.
It's game changing.
It is.
The thing is, he can create opportunity from defensive situations. Do you know what I mean? Like that flick there, just got like we had no right to be creating opportunity from there. That was more of a like just trying.
That was proper well cast. The weight of pass was too. The weight of the pass was just absolutely perfect and weighted well. Referee had to mess it up. Different day things should have happened, but I've just got another super chat here. One sec, bro. Thank you, Ademola, man. Appreciate it a lot. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you more, bro. Thanks a lot for that. I'm not gonna lie, like you guys have watched my videos, have been supporting me for time. Like I recognize a lot of you guys have been watching my stuff since I first started. Like remember those live streams back in the day, you guys, the 3-hour streams every day, 3 hours stream, 3 hours stream, 3 hours stream. It's mad that you'd think that you could like eventually run out of things to talk about, like doing this. You know what I mean? But it's never the case. It's never the case. But again, man, really appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, you know, let's look at the sub bench as well. Now, okay, let's say hypothetically the game's going. Okay, so the sub bench so far is Caballero, Reece James, Christensen, Mason Mount, Pedro. He's back in. Michy Batshuayi and Olivier Giroud. Obviously, you know, Hudson ain't fully fit right now. And you know what's funny? Obviously, the podcast we did, you were just talking about context and talking about why you got to be a bit patient with Hudson. And then it comes out that he had a hamstring injury. And it's like, no surprise it was so bad against Kosovo now, you know? Like, fully came out.
Yeah, I mean, that came out of nowhere because everyone was speaking about Pulisic really mainly during the week. And it was all about, right, so maybe Hudson-Odoi will get the start. And then that comes out and it's just like, so we didn't get through the international break with no injuries then.
Yeah.
Like, even when you think you're out, you're not out. Like, the international break just captures us every time. Like, I don't know how it happens. So it's a shame because I feel like he would have been a great threat because, especially when the game opens up towards the end, players like him and obviously we don't have Loftus-Cheek, they thrive on that space. And there was Loftus-Cheek who came on against City and I feel like Callum could have had a similar effect. So it's a shame. But did you say Giroud is on the bench?
Yeah, Olivier's. I guess, you know, maybe if he does. I guess I look at that bench and Lampard has options. You know, let's say we have to, you know, be a bit compact and hit balls out long. He's got that option in Olivier Giroud, if that's the case, I guess. And if he needs, let's say Tammy's sort of clinical today, he can bring on Michy. And maybe let's talk about Michy for a tiny bit. Actually, no, before we do that, sorry, one more super chat. Eminem, thank you, man. Kante can make the difference today. You know, I believe so. You know, Kante's got goals in him. I think that he can get more goals than he got last season, personally.
And Kante's an interesting one because it's weird that we're looking at him for goals. I remember when we signed him, he was nothing, like, not even close for goals. Like, the guy was just all about, you know, his box to box, winning the ball back. Passing was always good. More so than his goals. One thing people don't talk about with Kante is his low sense of gravity. The guy can dribble past people. Like, exactly. He's really good. He's really good at getting the ball, and he's very press resistant. He's very aware of his surroundings. He's very good at dribbling past people and just, you know, I remember him nutmegging someone against Liverpool in the Super Cup, and I was like, this guy is such a baller. And I know we spoke about this, I think, on the stream with Yannick and Eunice, and we were talking about, you know, potentially people saying that there's a potential to sell him. I feel like when you're looking at that game against Liverpool, it just, for me, it gives me much more patience in Kante. Like, this is the first time we're having injury problems with him. This is the first time we're not seeing him every game. You know, give the guy some time to get back. Just give him time before we start talking about selling and all this stuff. Just give him time, because when he's on peak, he is world class. Like, I feel like a lot of people forget how good he is. He, like, against Liverpool, he was
excellent. And that's what you're saying exactly. His ability to carry the ball is forever overlooked all the time. You know, like, you know what's funny? I look at some of like the preview stuff from, you know, not other Chelsea content creators, but just like, you know, like the media, press, papers, etc., etc. And it's so funny to me because, you know, to this day, I look at their predicted lineups. They all had 4-3-3. They all put Kante as the DM, and it's just like, by now, is it not sunk in? Do you not get it? Like, how can you even talk about all this tactics, and get the fundamentals wrong like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. But before you even get into that, man, I got some super chats here. Raul Cortez, forever backing it every time. I really appreciate it, man. Bring back the 3-hour streams, low, or just bring back those live streams during the week, Mr. Mate. I've got plans to do that. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys, I do have plans to be introducing Discord to the streams and bringing back, obviously, the call-in shows. Now, the only thing that's, you know, my delay for it right now is I'm trying to think what's the best way to do it. Like, I'm thinking, should it be free? But if I do make it free, then it might not be fair for some people who might never get a chance if I'm going to do like a raffle thing every single time, or should I do like a small payment entry? So it's like, if you really want to talk, you got the opportunity to do that. There are things I'm going to just like discuss and talk about. And I'm thinking, is Discord the best way for people to come on? Shall I integrate Skype? So, those things are going to get sorted and settled very soon. So that is going to be coming back. I started off by, focusing on community. I want to just intensify that even more, times it by 10. And I think the call-in show would be great. Let's say after every single game, the day after, that's when I do it. So yeah, man, I've got a lot of things planned on the way. And next question, Javier Zepeda. Thank you, bro, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. But yeah, man, just getting back to things. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Michy Batshuayi. Now, I'm not gonna lie. He is a guy that I like. He's a player that you can't not like. I mean, how can you not like Michy Batshuayi, really? And I do sympathise that. Yeah, he's always had maybe slightly better players ahead of him every single time. But he is a guy, I can see why Manalo really likes him, because he knows how to get goals. Like, he's a serious goal scorer. Do you think that he could possibly have any impact in this game today?
I mean, the thing is with Batshuayi, he can always have an impact, and he tends to have an impact more so against big teams. You look at Ajax, Atletico Madrid, West Brom, when we needed to win the Premier League. He turns up in the big moments. It's very underrated about him. And, the thing is with Batshuayi is I would never start him, because I feel like his general play, his link up, his movement, sometimes that is lacking. And I feel like he doesn't bring enough to the game when we need, the general play to be on point. Yeah, all phases of the game, so to speak. But off the bench, I don't think there's many better. I mean, if you look at teams like Tottenham, teams like Man United, they don't have someone coming off the bench to impact the game. They don't have anybody who's even willing to do that role. I mean, if you look at his quotes recently saying that he loves the club, he's never really been a starter, but he loves being.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, man. You're
as much as we all talk about Werner and bringing all these players. Oh, go on.
Sorry, your signal.
As much as we talk.
Your signal is kind of getting a bit stuttery a tiny bit. Yeah. If you can do something about that.
Okay, let me.
But while you're doing that.
Yeah. So as much.
Continue.
Hold on. Yeah, go for it, bro. I'll change position.
Okay, cool. I'll keep talking until you obviously just get this thing patterned up. Of course, you guys, I agree with what you're saying. Mitchell, his overall game, that's been the main thing. But I sympathise in that sense. Let's say you play for one consistent team instead of going to Dortmund, Valencia, all these Crystal Palace. It's hard to improve and grow. And I look at Mitch. You have to be honest. I kind of still see the same similar player. I think this season the reason why he's looking better is because we're actually playing him. We're using him to his best abilities. Mitch, he's not the type of striker that's gonna bring people into the game. That's not what he's about. But if you want to do quick 1-2s where you can run into space and be direct and fast, that's what Mitch is about. And this is why every time he comes off the bench, he has at least 2 or 3 shots. Like, what substitute in this league, as striking substitutes, come on and consistently force efforts on goal in such small amounts of time? Like, I just don't see it. And this is why he's really impressed me. Of course, though, man, there are reports that we are looking at forwards, and I've always kind of saw it as, if Giroud and Mitchie decide they want to leave, then of course we have to go back in the market to sign someone. I know there's reports of this Russian kid from CSKA Moscow, Shalov or something like that. He looks quite interesting. I don't know anything about him. I'm not going to start pretending that I know what's happening in the Russian league. I mean, of course I don't. But I don't know. It would be a loss for the squad and a loss for the team if Mitchie did leave, because I just think that his personality, everyone likes him. That's it, basically. Everyone likes him.
I feel like that's one of those players that if they did go, we might we'll feel the effects, because I don't feel like there's much better coming off the bench and impacting a game just for short spells, maybe 20, 15 minutes. And it's very hard to find someone to do that job. As I was saying with Tottenham and Man United, they can't find someone to do that. And he kind of reminds me of like a Chicharito or someone like that, who they're very dangerous at they're very good at just being that impact player. Like their mind is almost fit for that role. And there's a lot of players, they're on the bench and they're used to starting. So when they're on the bench, they're kind of sleeping. They're not really, what I mean? They're not good at impacting the game off the bench. And Mitchie's the complete opposite. So I definitely think he can have an impact on the game. And I don't know much about that guy from the Russian league either. That's a surprise for me because, whenever people have been doing their reports, The Athletic or anybody been doing their potential signings, that name has never come up. So I don't know if it's agent talk or,
You know what it is, though? You know what it is? Like, whenever you read reports and it says monitor, all it means is that he's a player that's been scouted. So that's what I see it as. And it's like, it tells me, okay, this is the profile of player we're looking at. Do I think he's got a massive chance to sign for us? I'm not too sure. But it gives us an indication of what type of strikers we're looking at. But sorry, man, I do have another super chat here. Thank you again, Raul. Your question is, where is it? Dang, it kind of just give me some time, man. I'll get back to it. It should okay, I found it. Interesting how this lineup isn't much different from last season's. Going to be interesting how we press attack compared to last season's games versus Man City. And yeah, I think you are right. It is going to be very interesting. Honestly, that game last season when we beat them 2-0 at home, I thought it was one of the most it was one of the best performances I've seen for a while. I thought against a strong Man City team at the time that were just winning non-stop. We came in and then completely surprised everyone with a pretty, confident 2-0 win in the end. Do you feel like we'll get that same spirit and energy for the game today after seeing this lineup?
Well, the lineup is nearly perfect, as you were saying, and I think the thing with the pressing that he was asking there is that I think we should we're looking maybe to do it in spells. I don't feel like it's going to be this relentless pressing. And against Man City as well with the half spaces, you've got to be mentally switched on. And I feel like if we was to burn out earlier on in the game with the pressing and trying to be on the front foot, which I don't think we're going to do, if we were to do that though, you've seen against Sheffield United, you've seen maybe against Leicester, the mental fatigue at the end of games. Maybe it's not even physical, it's sometimes mental as well. We never really spoke about that. You can mentally become fatigued, you can lose concentration, and then Man City are the last team you want to be doing that in the last moments, especially with probably who they have available as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with the lineup. I feel like we've seen a lot of fighting spirit from this team. Ajax, I was at the game at home. Nobody would have predicted we'd come back, and I know we was given a little bit of help with the red cards, but you still have to go ahead and do that.
We forced it. Yeah, we forced it.
And if anything, we more pressure after those red cards because it was kind of an expectation that we'd get back into the game. And sometimes a team can let you down. There's more pressure now to get back into the game. You've been given a lifeline. Sometimes they can fall short. So we've definitely shown fighting spirit. We haven't really seen a game this season where we've given up, so to speak. Even against Manchester United away, it wasn't really us giving up. It was just us being, really unlucky with the goals in the first half, and then very clinical United. It wasn't, in fact, a beatdown kind of performance from them. So yeah, man, I feel like this. If there's any team who's gonna come up clutch, so to speak, with one of those masterclasses, it's going to be this team, 100%.
Yeah, I believe so, and I think it's about time we take the heads of one of the big boys in the league. Our performances have been too good for a long time now. I think City, as I don't want to get too overconfident because I still feel like too often we create our own mistakes and we lose games by ourselves. Set pieces, you were speaking about that earlier. Now, of course, Man City have no real height or physicality in that sense. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of teams do a lot of unique creative set pieces against us, which catches us out every single time. Not once have I seen us switched on for any different unique style of set piece defending. So I'm just hoping that we're not going to constantly give away stupid corners and free kicks non-stop, which we have a habit of doing. That's as we get more experience. I'm hoping that aspects of our game really does improve a lot more. But I don't know, man. I'm still in my head Sterling versus Aspie. If we're not on point and we allow Sterling to be isolated versus Aspie a lot throughout this game, it's going to be difficult, especially if you've got your De Bruyne's there, etc., etc. But yeah, man. Yeah. Obviously, we've got about 15 more minutes before wrap things up and keep things moving. But you guys, for the next few minutes, if you guys have any questions, of course, send a super chat if you want it to be prioritized. Right now, I'm going to be going through the chat looking for some of the best questions that obviously me and Matthias can talk about. But okay, Tala Rafiq, don't want any Sunderberg anywhere near Chelsea. Fair enough, mate. Colin the Moonwalker, laugh my ass off. Let's watch Aspie today. Guys, don't curse too much. Bath, the second half performance was good in that. Okay, let me find one. Lorenzo Lopez, not going to lie, this game is going to ground overconfident Chelsea fans. Now, okay, how do you feel about that?
Oh, God.
Did you hear what I said? You're kind of just
laughing.
No,
what did you say then?
You thought you were going to style it out by laughing. Like, I didn't hear what this guy said. Let me just like laugh it off.
You said it would ground fans and then it kind of cut out.
Oh, that's why. Okay, let me find, where's Lorenzo Lopez's, where's his message again? But he was basically saying, not going to lie, this game is going to ground overconfident Chelsea fans. You know, maybe, I don't know what's happening on Twitter right now. I haven't been too active on the timeline today, not going to lie. But what's people feeling about our, you know, our possibilities to get the 3 points today?
It's mixed. There's a lot of people that are quite, you know, realistic as us. They're quite, they're understanding that. One thing as well is that we understand that Man City have just lost. They just lost to Liverpool. They've had the whole international break to summer to think about it, to really like work up a steam about it. So they're gonna like Pep will demand them to bounce back. That's what we're up against. And there are a few that are overconfident. There are a few that are probably underestimating Man City's 4 attacking midfielders, especially to get into the half spaces and cause problems. So it's mixed, but I do feel like there is reason for optimism just because of their defense as well. So, you know, it's a 50-50 situation. I feel like it's a very even opportunity for everyone. Really, it's an even game really to get an opportunity. But Man City are definitely favourites because they are at home. That pitch is huge.
Yeah,
and I think it's a massive game for Kepa. Massive game for Kepa.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking about opportunities, a question from ID: if Van Ginkel gets fit and gains form, do you think he will make it back into the, not even the squad, back into the team? I know that a lot of people have a lot of hope for Van Ginkel still, which is nice, you know, but realistically, the only way this guy gets back into the squad is if he replaces Ross Barkley. I mean, that's the only way I see it, to be honest.
Yeah. If I'm being completely honest, he doesn't get back into this team for me. Like he's had so many injuries, so many reoccurring injuries, and then you couple that with the way Frank wants to play. It's high energy, it's pressing. There's no room really for any injury-prone players, especially in that midfield where you demand so much energy. And if you look at the players coming through, we have Ampadu, we have Billy Gilmore, we have Conor Gallagher, who's having a screamer at Charlton. I expect him to be involved in pre-season.
Today, didn't he?
Scored again today. So we have too much talent up and coming for talent that's been here so long to really come back into the fold. And that's why in pre-season, the likes of Palmer, the likes of Baker, those kind of players, I never really thought they had a chance because it's not like we don't have a conveyor belt of youth coming through. You know what I mean? So, for me, with Van Ginkel, it's all about getting him fit, getting him back up to speed, and then for me, he needs to, you know, try and sign for a team in Holland, especially where the pace of the game is slower. Premier League is the wrong league for an injury-prone player. I said it before with Wilshere, probably should have gone abroad. Barkley as well, potentially. Yeah. All these players have had massive injuries and haven't really recovered from them. The place is Spain, because if you look at Santi Cazorla, he's having a screamer out there. So that just goes to show.
Yeah, but I like Spanish football. I feel like it flows nicer than the Premier League because there's not like too much focus on. It's more about what you do with the ball on your feet. Like, you know, Hazard came out with quotes saying that, you know, working on the Italian managers, you know, it was all about, you know, training was really boring. And we always got the impression that Hazard wasn't doing the most in training already. He's one of those guys where it's like, listen, I'm not going to put any effort in training, but when the game's ready, you guys, you know that I'm going to turn Super Saiyan Hazard. That's how he normally does it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's obviously move on. Braden Clay, who would you rather have, Van Ginkel or Pasalic? Obviously, Pasalic at Atalanta right now, and you know, he's always been a decent midfield player, a very decent midfield player. Who for some reason we've never ever even looked at giving an opportunity to. You know, he's at Atalanta, was it Valencia, AC Milan, Monaco? I mean, it's Mr. International already. Like his passport right now, you know, like crazy.
Mr. What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, he must have passport after passport. This guy's just moving about, non left, right, and centre. But you know, I don't know. I just think with those two midfielders at this point, you guys, I don't know if they'll ever really get the opportunity, unless a lot of fortune fell into their favour. And maybe these guys do deserve a bit of luck, especially Van Ginkel. I mean, it's quite sad how the injuries have really just like slowed down his progress a lot. But anyway, let's move on. Nate Abbey's dad, Gallagher, is really promising. Hope he is given an opportunity next season. We don't need to buy midfielders. And, you know, how do you feel about that, man? Do you think Conor Gallagher is ready to come into the team now? Or do you think that with his form right now, he just needs game time week in, week out?
Conor Gallagher. Thing is with him is that, and one point I was going to make as well on the podcast I didn't get to is we have so many players coming through that it's there's going to be someone who gets left out. I don't think it's realistic to think that Tino's going to come through. Conor, like there's simply not enough space. There's not enough midfield spaces for all of these players to be in the same squad. So someone's heart's going to get broken. That's all I'm saying. Like someone isn't going to make the cut. If you look at Barcelona when they was bringing through all of their midfielders, Thiago Atlanta was purely shipped because they didn't have any space, and he was simply too good to sit on the bench. We can't have 6 quality academy product midfielders in the one squad. It's just not possible, especially when you have Jorginho and Kovacic. He's not old by any means. So, you know, they shipped him to Bayern. They kept Fabregas, Xavi, and Iniesta. So I can't say if Conor's definitely going to make it. I would prefer that he's playing week in, week out as well. The same with Ampadu. You know, that's why we loaned him, because we didn't want him, you know, as like a 6th choice midfielder. I think everything depends actually on Loftus-Cheek. If he doesn't recover from the injuries, and it's harsh, and I know nobody wants to hear it, and I definitely don't want to because he's my favourite player. But if he doesn't recover and he keeps having injury after injury, everyone talks about Kante. Loftus-Cheek is a player that may have to become expendable because, you know, we can't really keep around a player who's always injured.
But to be fair though, his recent injury, it's not a reoccurring one. It was just like blame the club for that. It's the club's fault entirely. Why I even got it. That's what makes me like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. At least once or twice a week, I'm looking at old clips of Ruben from last season. I can't help it. On my computer, I've got tons of clips saved of his performances in individual games and stuff. And it's just like, imagine how we just jeopardize him like that for such. You know, of course, I agree with the sentiments for the friendly, but the timing, like, especially before Europa League final, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. But I don't know. I feel optimistic. If it was like another back injury, then I think that it becomes more valid then, because it's like it's a reoccurring thing. You know what I mean? So I'm still optimistic about Ruben. But you know, going back to the guys like Conor Gallagher and that, I think it's best to think about, you know, the long game. Let's think about how the squad's going to constantly evolve in the future. Let's say in the next 2-3 seasons, let's say we phased out like your Barclays. Let's say Jorginho decided to go back to Italy or whatever happens, you know. I'd rather guys like Conor Gallagher, your Angerins, your Gilmores, you know, they're getting consistent game time. So when that day does come, these guys are going to be ready. Because I don't think it'll be fair to bring back a 19-year-old who's barely going to play, let's be serious, and then expect what, really? You know, I know he looks good right now, but we've got to think about the long term. Sorry.
Yeah, I think as well, a lot of people are forgetting how good the loan system is. Like, the loan system has been brilliant because it's allowed them to get experience. Mount had 2-3 loans, you know, everyone's 2-3 seasons, out on loan, you know, Vitesse and then Derby. Like, these loan spells are crucial for their development, crucial for their maturity, and getting them ready for the first team. Is, you know, I think you made this point on the podcast during the week. It's why they're all ready now. They're all looking so good is because they've had those experiences. So nobody needs to have one good loan and then come in, or you know what I mean. So they need more experience. They're all young guys. Maddison as well coming through. These guys can have multiple loans. I think the system's worked really well for us up until now. There's no point changing it.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because, you know, plans for the loan army, we're going to see that in full effect probably once the window opens again. Of course, it needs to be revamped with the new rules from FIFA that, you know, you have to curtail the amount of players you have, you know, out on loan per season, which, come on, I've never liked it, to be honest. I've always thought it's very immoral. You know, you're basically making young players' futures expendable for little bits of money that just add up. it wasn't right in my opinion. So
No.
that is what it is. But you know what? Let's find a few more questions because we got to go in the next like 3 minutes. Because I'm gonna watch the game on Sky. I was gonna watch it on the computer and file a stream. But I just want to relax, have my drink, just sit back, and you know what I mean. Just take my time on this game.
Take it in tactics everywhere, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. 100%. But okay, let's find some questions here. Okay, Dave Buckner. Batman has better one-touch combining in the final third. Dave, I agree with you. You know, that's what Mitch is about. I think Griezmann even said something today. You know, I don't know if you guys saw the article or the quotes, but Griezmann spoke about how he's not great at beating his man. That's not how he likes to play, and you got to understand. You know, beating your man at this level is completely different to playing five-a-side with your guys. You know what I mean? So obviously, Griezmann said that he's a player that likes to pass and move. That's what he's about. It's the same thing for Mitchie. You know, he's been forced to have to drop deep to bring people in. Nah, you want him to be further up, you know, attacking the spaces inside the box. That's what you need from him. And Dave, I do agree with you. Anyway, we continue on. Eugene, Nini, love the academy guys too much. Nini loves the academy, but you know what the thing is? Like, I'm not gonna say, you know, I've got like small amounts of criticism for that. Obviously, of course, I like the Lone Army. Like the first time. The reason why I even got invested in the Lone Army was a game in 2012, us versus Barcelona. That's when I saw a 15-year-old Berger for the first time. Lewis Bakers, Rubens, all those types of players, and I was like, wow, we look amazing. And then from that point, that's how I've just been invested in following the youth and seeing what these guys are doing. But you know, I'm not. It's been weird, you know. Sorry, man. Continue. My bad.
Sorry, no. I was just saying, like, just to defend you on that. I feel like everyone needs to be a bit more understanding with people who are really pro youth. If you've, like, say yourself, if you've been watching the games at youth level for years, right, and you've been looking at individual players and you've been watching their development, same with the youth coaches, same with the club in general, you're going to be buzzed for them to come through more so than a signing from abroad. It's the same way people are watching Bundesliga games over and over again, looking at their own transfer European targets, and then they're praying for them to come into the Chelsea team. Yeah. It's the same as you watching youth games and praying that Boga comes through, praying that, do you know what I mean? So I feel, you know, I don't feel like it's, you know, anybody's right or wrong. I like signings from abroad and I like youth coming through, but I think people need to understand when you and maybe Alex and other people are really interested in the youth coming through because you've been watching them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that. Yeah.
Your attachment to these players. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just like, you know, I'm just going to keep it real. I've been consistent with my, you know, with my efforts on why we need to bring these guys into the first team since I even started this channel. Even before, I've been pro youth because I know how good this academy is and the prospects they produce. The great thing now about, you know, people, because I understand what football fans are like. It's hard to have that vision sometimes for the future. You know, football fans are very practical and tangible. You know, we like to see like what's in front of us. If we don't see what's in front of us and it doesn't exist, then we can't envision it being a thing. You know what I mean? But now that we're seeing that, wow, every academy player has been excellent since they've been, you know, playing in the first team. Now guys are looking at your Angerins, your Gallaghers, your Gilmores, and with a newfound appreciation. You know what I mean? Because when Mason Mount was in Holland, bagging in the goals, he wasn't getting too much hype as he should have, in my personal opinion. But that's how it should be, and I got to keep it straight, you guys. I've been on this pro youth thing since I even started this channel. Have I been wrong? Have I been wrong? Everything I said would happen has happened. The players I said who can make it have made it. You know, at this point, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but deep down, you know why you watch me. But you know what? We'll answer one more question before we keep it moving, because the game's about to start. One more question here. I think I'm the only United fan here. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Obviously, thanks for even wanting to watch this. What's the final question to answer? Okay. If I'm not following in the next 5 seconds, might be just wrap it up. Okay, Lorenzo Lopez, Nini, what's your dream window? My dream window, I'd like to see like a Sancho come. I like to see him attacking players. I like to see at least one fullback, and depending on who leaves, replacements for those players. But what about you, man? What type of positions do you want to see us filled? Like, say it very quickly.
What's strengthening?
Yeah, strengthening certain positions. You've got like 10, 20
the typical
seconds.
left back, winger, and yeah, those would be the two main ones for me, definitely.
Okay, perfect. But you guys, we're going to wrap things up now because we've got a game to watch. Of course, you guys, as I'm always constantly saying, make sure you follow Mattis Armani on Twitter. You can see him on screen right now. That's at Mattis Armani. It's right here. It's right here. So, and of course, you guys, if you are planning on getting anything for the upcoming Black Friday sales, and of course, Christmas is around the corner as well, don't forget my affiliate links and codes. It will be in the description below. Right now in the Club Mega Store, you are able to get free shipping across the world for items over £40. And of course, it's 20% off all leisure items. So, what are you missing out on? We're going to keep things moving, you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line CV. See you guys in a bit.